Class is dismissed, boys and girls.
You're in. Let's go!
What follows is the extended version of episode 35 of the YTV Retrospective. Originally aired July 10th at TFCon Toronto, it was lost on the audience who hated it, forcing Brad to completely redo the entire episode from scratch. Unfortunately, he got sidetracked playing Persona 5 and watching reruns of ALF. Luckily, his co-producer was able to put him back on track using air horns and empty threats. He was then able to complete it at the last minute without delay or sleep. And now you'll have to watch it. Tune in next time for a much better episode. For now, though, courage.
Previously on the YTV Retrospective.
Lawler, you wanted a big fight. You wanted to start a fight with the Hitman. You wanted to start a war, and I can promise you I am going to take you to the gallows, and you will be excellently executed.
Check this out.
Everybody.
Check it out.
In 1984, a cartoon which was essentially a means to promote a toy line would become a major hit. The Transformers. And it was everywhere. Ranging from comic books, storybooks, video games, major motion pictures, and much more in the years since. This franchise would gain a huge fan base with people of all ages, including man, woman, child, and goober. In one way or another, we were introduced to the series in different ways, either at the very beginning to right now. I started watching the Transformers franchise through the series Robots in Disguise. Not that one. There you go, with Neil Kaplan as Optimus Prime and Daniel Riordan as Megatron, as the Autobots waged their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Predacons. Funny enough, I remember when YTV aired the Transformers movie in honor of its 20th anniversary. As part of the movie block, 3 hairy thumbs up.
Where'd you learn to talk like that?
Oh, well, I'm a TV announcer, and I have a TV script. This is it here.
I talk some TV.
You do?
And now the news. Don't touch that dial.
It was an amazing experience seeing that movie on TV for the first time, and still puts a big old smile on my face every time I see it. But I really started collecting the toys around the time of a trilogy of seasons that would be connected one after another. And this trilogy is what we will be talking about today. But first, let's continue where we left off when we last discussed Transformers. What happened after the mainframe duology of Beast Wars and Beast Machines? Beginning 20 years ago, the Transformers franchise went to a whole new direction. But first, we gotta look at how it got there. After Beast Machines met with lukewarm reception due to its inconsistent designs in the toy line and the direction the animated series took with its whole technology versus nature/spiritual balance dynamic, its sequel series, Transtech, was scrapped. Though it was salvaged years later for Fun Publications Collectors Club comics. Until Hasbro can come up with a new idea for a series, they imported the Japanese exclusive Car Robots and turned it into Transformers Robots in Disguise, with a dub made by Saban Entertainment. Hasbro went back to basics in a sense, focusing on more easier transformations and gimmicks, as opposed to complex like the Beast era had before. Have you ever tried converting a Tigerhawk successfully? That's when the head of boys toys at Hasbro, Aaron Archer, was brought in to help with the development of a new toy line, and the rest, they say, was history. This is Transformers Armada. Transformers Armada takes the series back to its roots, with the battle between the Autobots and the Decepticons for control over the planet Cybertron. But with a twist. They're fighting over a third faction of robots called Minicons, tiny human-sized Transformers who, when attached to a larger robot, can unlock a hidden power or weapon. This was the gimmick of the toy line, with each Transformer coming with their own Minicon partner, with other Minicons to collect. Because of this, the Minicons fled to space, crash landing on a backwater world, and remained there for millions of years. Can you guess what that planet was? It was Earth! In the year 2010, the distant future according to 2002, the Minicons are reawakened when two kids, Rad and Carlos, discovered one of their stasis pods while spelunking. This also sends a beacon to Cybertron, and it doesn't take long for the Autobots and Decepticons to get there, as Rad and Carlos, along with their friend Alexis, encounter Megatron, played by David Kaye.
You have something of mine.
We have what?
Give it back immediately, or you shall suffer the consequences.
Oh, great.
And Optimus Prime, played by Gary Chalk.
You all right, sir?
Yes, but we're all in great danger. We can't let Megatron get hold of the Minicons.
This is a surprise, considering these two are technically reprising their roles from Beast Wars and Beast Machines, except those were legacy characters, whereas here, they're playing these two leaders for the first time. Soon more Autobots and Decepticons join the Minicon hunt. On the bot side, there's Hotshot, the young and ambitious bot.
I've been ready for an hour already. No cold is gonna stop me from maximum power.
Red Alert, the calculating medic.
Don't owe me anything. We're on the same team, remember?
Smokescreen.
It's really nice to meet you kids. So, Hotshot, how you been, pal?
Jetfire, Optimus' second in command.
I'll never forget what the Decepticons have done to our friend Smokescreen, but Starscream's situation is different. He was double-crossed by Megatron, and he almost paid the ultimate price because of it.
Blur, the brooding speedster.
I fear he'll be trouble in the future.
Sideswipe, Hotshot's #1 fan.
Well, how do you like that? There you be.
Scavenger, the green and purple construction vehicle.
So for the time being, you'll have to learn to blend in the way I have. What's he talking about?
Way. And Laserbeak? Laserbeak, no. I thought what we had was special. On the con side, there's Starscream, the ambitious seeker, as well as Chick Magnet and Poster Boy for Linkin Park AMVs.
We'll finish you all.
No, let me do it. You have your partner, Minicon, but I'll show you how powerful I am on my own.
Cyclonus, the maniac.
Oh, I do love surprises.
Demolisher, the dumb muscle.
I'll show those tooth. Just twitch and you're toast.
Tidal Wave, the behemoth battleship of a con. Wheeljack, the ex-Autobot.
Ah, you're so pathetic. You're still hung up on the past, aren't you?
And Thrust, Megatron's second in command.
I shall serve at his right hand, making me the second most powerful being in the cosmos.
And then there's Sideways. Is he an Autobot? Decepticon? Or something else entirely?
Megatron will never find me in here.
Now, where could my dear comrade Sideways be hiding?
Basically, the majority of the series revolves around the two factions racing to collect the Minicons, with Rad, Carlos, and Alexis, later joined by Fred and Billy, helping the Autobots and their new Minicon friends. However, as the series goes on, we learn where the Minicons originated from, who Sideways really works for, and what kept escalating the war. Enter Unicron, the Chaos Bringer, the Planet Eater, the whole reason this trilogy of shows is named after, and at the time, the biggest Transformer on the toy shelves. Aside from Chalk and Kaye, other roles include Kirby Morrow as Rad, Matt Hill as Carlos, Tabitha St. Germain as Alexis, Brent Miller as Hotshot, Michael Dobson as Starscream, Brian Dobson as Red Alert, Paul Dobson as Sideways. I'm seeing a pattern here. Scott McNeil as Jetfire, Don Brown as Cyclonus, Alvin Sanders as Demolisher, and Mark Atchison as Unicron, just to name a few. This was the first Transformers series co-produced between the US and Japan, being animated by Actus Inc., with the English localization done by Voicebox Productions. However, because Cartoon Network wanted to air the show as soon as possible, the series had a few twitches, so to speak. From unfinished animation to dubbing flubs as a result of translation errors. Despite these problems, the show did well enough to get kids into Transformers yet again, especially as there was a nostalgia boom happening at the time, with reboots of Masters of the Universe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also coming out at the same time. Did you know that Armada had LEGO models before Creo? It was known as BTR, or Built to Rule. I remember having the Jetfire set, although the transformation was really clunky and kind of a mess. There was also a video game for the PS2, and at the time was a pretty solid game. Transformers Armada ran from 2002 to 2003 with 52 episodes. Armada aired on the Saturday morning block Vortex, and even aired during special anime-themed marathons, especially during New Year's. It had a rocky start, but a good start nonetheless, to get the trilogy going. Shame it can't be said about the next series. 10 years after the events of Armada, an alliance between Earth and Cybertron was formed. The Autobots have made an uneasy peace with the Decepticons after the death of Megatron. Spoilers! However, the Autobots have encountered a mysterious new foe, called the Alpha Quintesson, or Alpha Q for short, who has sent his Terracon forces, commanded by Scorponok, to collect the Transformers' power source, Energon. For what purpose? To resurrect the fallen Unicron. It's up to the Autobots and their allies to stop this new threat. There are arbitrary bots like Hotshot and Jetfire, and newcomers like Ironhide, Inferno, the Omnibots, Wingsaber, Omega Supreme, and the teams led by Rodimus and Bulkhead. Along with their old human allies, there are new ones, such as Kicker Jones, who has the ability to sense Energon. His family, father Dr. Brian Jones, mother Miranda, sister Sally, and his girlfriend Misha. The gimmick this time has the Autobots given the ability to combine, known as Power Links, with two bots becoming an upper and lower half of the body. Optimus combining with his trailer components, Wingsaber or Omega Supreme, and there was even a 5-bot team in the form of Superion Maximus. The Omnibots and Terracons also had the ability to create Energon weapons for them to use. However, something doesn't go according to Alpha Q's plan, as his attempt to revive Unicron had also resurrected Megatron, who commandeers Unicron's remains and the Terracons from Alpha Q, and plans to use it to his own end. This brings the Decepticons back to his fold, including Cyclonus, Tidal Wave, and Demolisher, who are reformatted to new bodies, with the former two renamed Snowcat and Mirage, Starscream, who was previously revived by Alpha Q into a ghost-like spy, and Shockblast and his brother Sixshot. The Decepticons had their own gimmick too, with flip-out hidden weapons. They even had their own combiners in Constructicon Maximus and Bruticus Maximus. Actus Inc. once again did the 2D animation, with Studio ACAT doing the 3D models and animation. That's Exhibit A to why this show was not good. The 3D models stood out compared to the 2D animation. Not to mention they were so stiff and awkward. This was especially bad when they were trying to show their faces, as they showed little to no emotion. The only time they showed them emote was with 2D animation. For some odd reason on some occasions, they turned to 2D animation during the fights, and that was the only time the Transformers looked good in the series. For Exhibit B, there was the dubbing. Once again done by Voicebox Productions, as was just as bad as in Armada. Not to blame the talent, but the characterization wasn't well received, especially Kicker and Ironhide. Exhibit C, the editing. Like Armada before, there was unfinished animation.
Alright, well, we better get started. I'm gonna say dull surprise.
Mispronounced character names, and spelling mistakes. In the title cards! Exhibit D, the pacing. There wasn't enough plot to fill its 50-plus episode run, as it takes up until episode 20 for the Decepticons to revive Unicron. Then the Autobots deactivate him, taking another 20 episodes to repeat the process. And after that's done, there's still another 13 episodes remaining, consisting of a random plot involving Redecos and Combiner teams. And finally, Exhibit E, Scorponok's Scars. For some reason, the episode that was originally episode 33 was never even dubbed, despite there being no problem with it. It was confusing as there were some important plot elements to it, especially the character growth of Ironhide and Scorponok. Yet for some reason, episode 43, Distribution, aired in North America, and it wasn't even an actual episode. It was a Japanese special commemorating 500 episodes worth of Transformers cartoons that aired in Japan. Aside from the voice actors prizing their roles from before, new characters include Brad Swale as Kicker.
I don't need your permission. It's my planet, not yours. Now get out of my way!
Matt Hill as Ironhide.
You gotta take me, sir. I want to go on this mission.
Want to learn from the best, huh?
Michael Dangerfield as Inferno.
Or you can tell me where the Energon is, fool.
Never! And you can't make me!
Brian Drummond as Shockblast.
Okay, if you don't want to come out, then I'll bury you alive.
Ellen Kennedy as Misha.
Hey, wait a minute. Huh? You think it's possible this planet could be inhabited just like Earth, Kicker?
Paul Dobson as Rodimus.
Unicron, as you know him, is a vicious transformer that lives only to devour everything in his path.
French Tickner as Bulkhead.
Age before beauty, gentlemen. Come on, we've got a job to do.
Colin Murdoch as Wingsaber and Scorponok.
Back off, human! You don't stand a chance against me!
And Trevor Duvall as Alpha Q, just to name a few.
He's laughing. Do you really think we can depend on them?
They are rather feeble. An interesting dilemma.
Transformers Energon ran from 2004 to 2005, with 51 episodes. Like Armada before, it aired on the Vortex block. Because of the unfortunate problems the series dealt with, Energon left a pretty sour taste in the fandom's mouth. So let's hope the final installment did some course correction. And thankfully they did. Into a black hole! The destruction of Unicron has caused a black hole to form, destroying everything it absorbs in the process, making the events at the end of Energon feel wasted, and planet Cybertron is coming up on the menu. As the Autobots struggle to stop this new threat, an answer appears in the form of Vector Prime, Guardian of Space-Time, and one of the original 13 Transformers. He tells the Autobots of the Omega Lock, and the 4 Cyber Planet Keys, mystical artifacts that have the power to stop the black hole, but were scattered to the 4 corners of the universe long ago. The Autobots, now using the power of the smaller Cyber Keys, grants them new weapons and powers, as they are on the hunt for these keys before Megatron and the Decepticons can use them to reshape the universe in his image. Of the 4 worlds, there's Velocitron, the Speed Planet, ruled by its racing champion Override, the Jungle Planet, a world of chaos and beasts, under the tyrannical rule of Scourge, Gigantian, an ever-growing planet of cities under endless construction, overseen by its leader Metroplex.
Did you know about this?
I have no idea, Maggie, and we built the darn things.
Can you guess what the 4th world is? It was Earth! There we meet the 3 humans that help out the Autobots this time around. Kobe, his little brother Bud, and their friend Lori. There's also the Earth Transformers leader Evac, but he doesn't do much. And Cybertron itself is revealed to be none other than the creator of the Transformers. No. Are you even trying? I'm talking about Primus. Though it was intended to be part of the trilogy, the Japanese series, Galaxy Force, was originally made to be a standalone series. That means there was a lot of changes done for the English release, including editing the first 2 episodes into one, as the first one had the visual destruction of Cybertron, which would be retconned later. The second episode being released afterwards as The Lost Episode. The adding of the Omega frequency, that only the kids can hear in order to keep them around and relevant. Added dialogue during the transformation sequences.
Because there's no way I'm gonna let you leave this dimension in one piece.
And changing Override from male to female by Cartoon Network's request. Adding more of a female presence on the hero side. There was also continuity problems as well, as there was little to no reference to the previous 2 series. This, however, was brought up courtesy of the Transformers Collectors Club by Fun Publications. In the comic story arc Balancing Act, the black hole was not just destroying worlds, it was warping time and space on a multiversal level, causing memory problems with the characters, as well as the black hole's effect happening in other universes as well. Among the returning cast reprising roles yet again, new additions include Sam Vincent as Kobe and Metasaur.
Getting good. I know. Wait till I have you change into a washing machine.
Ryan Hirokita as Bud.
Hey! Good job, you guys. This totally looks like a real secret headquarters.
Sarah Edmondson as Lori.
That's the pattern of Atlantis. I better tell the Autobots right away.
Richard Ian Cox as Scattershot.
Megatron broke through. He'll be in sensor range in less than 50 seconds.
Richard Newman as Vector Prime.
I finally understand the true value of time, for it is the bonds between us that give time its meaning.
Mark Oliver as Thundercracker.
Bye-bye, Autobots. And hello, right-hand man for Megatron.
Robert O. Smith as Soundwave.
We got a lot of writing on that little jam section upstairs.
And Marie Kendricks as Thunderblast, just to name a few.
How dare you doubt our leader, Crumplezone? My faith in Galvatron is absolute!
There was also some recasting this time around. Kirby Morrow replaces Brent Miller as Hotshot, Brian Drummond replacing Scott McNeil as Jetfire, Paul Dobson replacing Ward Perry as Landmine, Ted Cole replacing Paul Dobson as Sideways, Peter Kalamis replacing Colin Murdoch as Wingsaber, and at one point, Trevor Duvall replaced David Kay as Megatron. The series was animated by Studio Gonzo, with help from Sunwoo Entertainment. The 3D animation this time, though a little stiff sometimes, was a vast improvement over what was used in Energon, making the characters more animated in their movements and expressions. From 2005 to 2006, the series ran for 52 episodes, airing this time around the Saturday afternoons instead of a block like the others before. It also aired on Kids WB during the afternoons. A well-earned conclusion to a trilogy that started out rough. there was one more series that would air on YTV, and that was Transformers Animated, a 2D series made by Hasbro Studios and Cartoon Network, with the character designs of Teen Titans character designer, the late Derek J. Wyatt. Season 2 even aired earlier in Canada. Once Animated finished its course, the next series was Transformers Prime, unfortunately with YTV not getting the broadcasting rights. Instead, with Teletoon, along with getting anime like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! It wouldn't be until Transformers Cyberverse where they would air it as a marathon in 2018, because Chorus likes to air shows from their other networks like DuckTales 2017 and Pokemon. Despite Energon not getting any representation in recent years, some new figures based on Armada and Cybertron have been made as part of later toy lines, including Universe 2008, Thrilling 30s, Prime Wars Trilogy, War for Cybertron Trilogy, and Legacy. Even the original molds from the 3 lines were reused for the Classics line, the first movie's toy line, the Universe 2008 line, and for various BotCon and Collectors Club exclusives. All 3 seasons were made available on DVD, originally by Rhino and Paramount, and later by Shout Factory, and is now available for streaming on Tubi. The impact the franchise had in these 3 seasons was a big one, not only including mainstays like Hotshot, Sideways, and Tidal Wave. The characterization of Armada Starscream and the Minicons gimmick evolved the franchise with new ways of upgrading your Autobots and Decepticons. It was a crazy road, but provided the franchise a more clearer path going forward. When we come back, it's time to take a look at a show that has an interesting history here in Canada. In other words, it's Morphin' Time!
Next time on the YTV Retrospective.
Hi, this is Doug Parker, also known as Pterosaur from Beast Wars, or Beasties, also Tidal Wave from Transformers Armada. And you're watching YTV Retrospective.